All right, how are we doing, my friends? Welcome back to Real Estate Bites. This is episode 97. And today we're going to talk about um, how real estate pros need to get a little more active at the local level in trying to address the problem of housing affordability. Listen, guys, I think housing affordability is one of the many problems that I currently see with our country that are scaring me. Okay, we can sit here and name problems all day long, but there's a number that we suffer from here in the United States that have me actively very worried. And since this is a real estate program, I'm going to talk about the real estate problem that has me very actively worried. It's a symptom of a larger problem, I believe, but it is the fact that housing is becoming less and less affordable for the vast majority of people every passing month. You guys know who've been watching this for a while. We track median home values, median square foot values, and we've been seeing from that metric that home prices keep going up and up and up. And so, housing affordability is an issue because obviously, the American dream is to own a house, or part of the American dream is to own a house. And as the average American, as that opportunity appears to be slipping away, folks are losing hope. They're getting restless. They're getting upset. And not only that, but when it costs more to live in a home, whether you're renting or purchasing, then you have less money for anything else. And the strain that puts on people's personal economies and financial situation can break folks, can cause a lot of unrest, a lot of, disquiet, and I continuously talk on this program how I want to see more people and more good people pursue wealth creation. And, the more that things cost, and the more that things cost, such as housing, which is a necessity, the less money that folks have in their pockets and in their bank accounts to go pursue wealth creation. I really think that this affordability crisis is just that. It's a crisis that's affecting the whole country. And, something needs to be done about it. Well, I have zero faith that the feds are going to do anything about it, regardless what is in a gigantic bill. So it comes down to us at a grassroots level to talk to our local politicians, to be active and to press for action. So, I'm going to share the screen here. I'm seeing, I get a Google feed, right, about real estate. So I see this stuff every day, and more, I'm seeing more and more headlines and stories that look just like this. Okay. Investors snap up growing share of U.S. homes as traditional buyers struggle to afford one, right? Or there's this one. Deal makers with billions to spend on real estate grow optimistic for the rest of 2025, right? So this is a horribly it's a horrible snowball of a problem, right? In this regards, you see here. Let's go back to this one. Investors snap up growing share of U.S. homes as traditional buyers struggle to afford one. Okay, so where your regular average American citizen who's working hard at their job, whether it's blue or white collar, coming home trying to support their family on wages that are not keeping pace with inflation, not keeping pace with price appreciation in the housing market, they can't afford these things, but your wealthy investor certainly can, and they're going to buy up a home, and they're going to charge rents accordingly, which is causing rental prices to increase. Listen, guys, I'm guilty. I am an investor. I have rental properties, and I charge rent according to fair market value. At the same time, I do want to see housing prices at least stabilize and not go up anymore, so that my neighbors have an opportunity to afford a home. A part of this too, investors snapping up a growing share of U.S. homes as traditional buyers struggle to afford one. Listen, here's part of the problem. When a house comes on the market and it is not pristine, and I'm not even saying a piece of junk, obviously your traditional buyer is not even looking for a piece of junk that requires a whole lot of renovating and remodeling to get ready for the market. That's the investor's world right there, right? And that's one thing that I'm grateful for investors who are out there who buy terrible, ugly homes, fix them up, and put them into production, whether it's at a resale because they flipped it or whether they're putting a tenant into that house. But what they have done for the surrounding neighborhood is improved that property and the property value of that specific real property and those around it, right? By getting rid of what appeared to be blight and making it a nicer home again. But investors are getting deals on homes that are not full renovations, full rehabs, because frankly, I mean, I've met way too many dudes under the age of 40 that not only do they not know how to fix anything in a house, but they're not even interested because apparently that gets in the way of video game time. So let's step it up, dudes, because that is something that we as a country should be kind of ashamed of, in my opinion. You know, if you're a full grown man and you're clueless about how to fix anything and you don't even want to because it's getting in the way of screen time. So investors are getting into deals that, in my opinion, should be homes that regular shoppers in the marketplace should be getting into, but because they want to move into a house and invite the whole family over and be proud of their fancy looking house on day one, they're passing up equity and good opportunities in houses that still have grandma's finish. Listen, I see buyers who will be willing to overpay for a flip that's done mediocre because the finishes are trendy versus passing on a good house that needs some interior remodeling just because they don't want to have to do any other work, whether it's because they need to appease their vanity on day one or they just don't want to learn how to do anything. Both of those are a problem. Nevertheless, we got an issue here, guys. We got an issue with housing affordability, and something needs to be done. Now, the basis of this program here today is I think there's no one more capable of doing something than the real estate professional, whether you're an agent, an investor, a broker, whatever it might be. If you are active in the real estate market, you need to be active with local politics, local planning commissions, local zoning boards. I think it's on us more than anybody because we can bring data, we can bring real-time information, whether it's market activity, market data, buyer and seller sentiment. We can bring real-time data to local lawmakers and affect change. I'm trying to do my part here. I actually had a meeting with Representative Joe Miller, who represents my part of Lorain County at the state level, to discuss some of these issues. At the end of it, we agreed to set up another meeting and try to start getting some local mayors to the table, local politicians to the table to see if we cannot affect change at the local level, of course, with housing. There's a number of bills out there that talk about rezoning or addressing zoning laws, addressing, infill development in urban communities. Listen, guys, I want to read this list to you. These are the list of bills at the State House that are waiting on some sort of action. Some of these date clear back to 2023, and they're still they're not moving through the House. And this is another problem too. This is another thing that us local real estate experts should be talking. We should know about these things. We should be talking to local politicians about these things and asking why is any sort of relief that you guys are talking about at the State House not coming to fruition. So check this out. House bills, I'm not going to get into details. I'm not going to name names. I just want you to hear the length of the lists of bills in the State House and State Senate that are sitting there and not moving. And all of these are about affordability. Okay. House bills number 22, 40, 103, 129, 143, 156, 184, 186, 212, 261, 266, and 313. And then on the other side, you have Senate bills 22, 42, 81, 92, 184, 192, 205, 206, 28, and 215. Guys, that's what, 3, 6, 9, 12. I mean, you're over 20 bills are at the State House waiting for some sort of activity, all of which are addressing housing affordability. There's a bit of redundancy on some of these. I don't know why, but there's not a lot of redundancy. I think there may be 2 or 3 separate issues that are redundant between the House and the Senate. The rest of them are separate, different issues addressing either tax incentives for builders, property taxes, the whole gamut, right? Why is nothing being done? Why are bills sitting there for 2 years and not being addressed when this housing issue, the issue of affordability, has existed all this time and will continue to exist in perpetuity unless something is done? All right. So we got to get together with our local lawmakers, start at the zoning departments, start with your local mayor, talk to a state rep, right? And ask why these things are not being done. And when they ask your opinion, do a bit of homework and get it to them. Okay. They are listening. I'm not a big deal. And I got on the horn with a state rep, right? I've sat in Craig Snodgrass's office and talked to the Lorain County auditor about what can be done about property taxes and things like this. Okay. So these folks are out there, they're waiting to hear from us, and it's on us to start being a little more active. Okay. Ohio Realtors, they do their thing at the state level, but that's at the state level. And we need to do something more at a municipal level. Whatever community that you're working in the most, I think you should be active, and you should know who your zoning board members are, and they should have heard your voice. You should know who your local rep is, and they should have heard your voice and advocate for some of those things. Not very hard to get on the state website and investigate what legislation is out there for housing. Okay. All right. That's my spiel. I'm going to hop down off my soapbox, and we're going to take a look at this week's stats and then the big sale of the week. So let me share the screen here to my little spreadsheet where I'm taking a look at this stuff. All right. This morning, there were 495 homes, single-family homes and condos for sale in Lorain County. 52 sales last week. That's a low number for the selling season. The median square foot of homes sold last week was 1,713 square feet. Median home price was $307,500. The median square foot value, $168.50. It seems to be mid 160s is the low mark anymore, where when we started this, it was mid 140s. Average day or median days on market was 11. Houses are flying, guys. 6.79% is what the conventional 30-year note was, the interest rate for a conventional 30-year note when I checked this morning. And then the big boy of the week was $1,055,000. The first time that the city of Oberlin has made the list. Let's go and take a look at what that house looked like. This house is a big beauty. There were 3 beds, 5 bathrooms, 3,700 square foot above ground, another like 700 square feet finished below ground. Take a look at this house. So this house needed updating, right? It's been around for a while. You'll see with the carpet, some of these finishes are out of date, but the sheer size of the home is one thing. 3,700 square feet above ground again. Big, beautiful vaulted ceilings, recessed lightings. I mean, this thing had a lot going on before its time with an open floor concept. You can see by the cabinetry and some of the trim work and the wallpaper that it's been a while since this place has seen updates. Gigantic pantry, but again, a big, beautiful home. You know, we have not seen a tile job like that since the 90s, right? That's the last time that this place was touched. Big, beautiful 3-season room with these gorgeous wood burners here are absolutely beautiful. It's iron with a ceramic finish, and they're gorgeous and they work amazing. See that wallpaper there in the bathroom, right? These are 90s, early 2000s finishes at best. big California closet, right? But what earns this $1 million price tag, more so than the gigantic home, is the fact that it sits on 36 acres. So you got this big, beautiful home, 36 acres, the big walkout from the basement. They've got a bay door in the basement where you would store your lawn care equipment. There it is. Look at this drive. Right next to a stream. That's beautiful. Look at that drive. Imagine clearing that in the wintertime, huh? But anyways, big, beautiful property set way back in the woods, sold in the city of Oberlin at $1,055,000. And that is Real Estate Bites, episode number 97. Thank you for joining me. This is a pre-record. I've got issues with StreamYard and its connection to Facebook. So at any rate, I'm going to get that squared away. We'll see you guys next week. As always, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. I love you, people.